Good day. You know, it's funny about the whole honey selling business and that things go in waves. I started doing hot honey about 5 years ago. It was 45–50% of my sale. Now everybody's doing hot honey, or hot honey is kind of phased out. So, I mean, I'm still doing some units, but not a lot. What's new? Comb honey. Everybody wants comb honey. And so I'm starting to make comb honey. I did video on half hogs, and I've got a couple of those. I've had some okay success with it. Last year they filled out great. This year, not so, but I think that's my fault. I needed to re-wax the little trays. But today I'm trying something new, and it's called SimpleKomb. And before I even go any further talking about SimpleKomb, was that loud enough? I need to tell you, I am not sponsored by them. I bought these with my own money. They have no idea I'm doing this video. Anyway, that's it. So, but SimpleKomb, I saw them at NABI, North American Honeybee Expo, this last January, and I went, that's really kind of interesting. I really think I want to try that. And they had really good prices on them. And I was excited to do that. That's in Louisville. And I was about, I don't know, maybe Mount Vernon, Illinois, about halfway, and went, I never went back to the SimpleKomb people. So I ended up buying these online from them directly. First thing I will say, they were crazy fast. I mean, crazy fast. These things were here within just a few days. So I was very impressed by that. I got free shipping because of the amount of money that I spent on it. And I would say they came in packed perfect. So anyway, so that's that side of it. But what is SimpleKomb all about? Well, SimpleKomb is a tray type of system. It's kind of like the half hog, but what I like about this is that it fits in a regular frame. That way I've got a little bit more durability. If you watch through my half hog, you'll see that I pried up one of the ends of the half hog, which is made out of plastic, and snapped it off, which is not good, and I'm having issues with that as I put it on the hives this year. So that's, for me, been kind of a deal breaker. And I also find that they, the way they're put together, they fall apart. So I'm not completely dissing them. I'm just saying, I'm thinking I found a better system, and that is why this is part one of part two. So how do these things work? Well, they're simply just a sheet of plastic that has been, I think, crazy well engineered. And the instructions, they come with really good instructions that kind of show you everything that you need to see in them, and they just really do a good job. And on top of it, there's a YouTube video you can watch. Looks like Mick Fry and Madison Fry are the two people that run the company. So I'll shout out to them. But so how does this go together? It can't be more simple. You simply fold this back on top of itself and snap it into place. And then you've got your unit. The back here is covering up the back of the other, and bees cannot get to it, and I like that. Then all you do is, it's got a channel on the bottom, and that channel fits in the bottom of your frame, and then I think it says in the instructions, you just snap it into place. And what's happening is that there are small tabs on the back here, and they need to go up into the top channel of your frame. So you put, obviously, the tray part out, and then you snap them into place, which I have done 5 of these in advance just to see, and they work really well. And it might be really hard to see, but you know, once they're in, and then if you push a little harder, then they snap into place. You push down, they snap into place. Push down, snap into place. And you just do that all the way down. Side one is done. Then you snap in together. You put side two directly opposite of it, obviously. I know, but you guys get it. Took me a minute. And you snap these into place as well. I found this to be a little more difficult just because you're up against the other. I mean, not crazy difficult, but you can sort of see through the one that's on there And then I'm just, again, pushing them into place. And you can see the little pieces on the back side snapping into place. Do I got them all? I guess I do. Huh. Done. Huh. Pretty much done. But not quite. So in the instructions, they suggest, and I can see why, they suggest putting a thumbtack right here in between these two frames. And I can see why, because if you look really close on that, there's going to be a slight separation between there. And you know what happens when there's a slight separation, don't you? The bees are going to get in there and do all sorts of wanky, crazy stuff. So then all I'm doing then is taking a thumbtack and I am putting them down in between. I miss the days when my hands didn't have arthritis. So 3 thumbtacks in between the 3. Then I'm just going to take my hammer, not hammer, I'm just going to push them down then. And it's that simple. So the tacks are just going in between those, but you can see how that on this side pulled that together with it. Do this real quick on the other side. And there you have it. It's a completed frame. And are you done? No, you're not done. The next thing we need to do is actually wax these. And I'm going to show you that process because I have already waxed a bunch already. Isn't that cool? And I learned a couple things when I was doing that. So this is all phase 1 before they go on the hive. So let me show you real quick how to do the wax. But before I do that, I have an appointment to get my hair cut at 10:45. So I need to go get ready for that. And then I'll come back and we'll start working on the wax. Okay, I'll be right back. And I'm back. Took me a lot longer than I thought. A couple errands to run, but hey, that's just the way it goes. Hey, what do you think? I know, that's my Jenny. She's been doing a great job cutting my hair for 25 years now. So, but anyway, hey, so as I promised before I left, we're going to talk about waxing these up, which is absolutely crucial because the bees won't pull on them. It says here in the instructions, and I would say it anyway, if you're going to wax them, which, I mean, you have to wax them, but you're best if you can to use local wax. Especially if it's wax from your hives, it just helps draw a little bit faster. If you don't have wax of your own, maybe there's a beekeeper close to you that you might be able to get a hold of, or a bee club. If not, you know, the worst case scenario, make sure you buy really good, high quality beeswax. If you're buying it online or at a store, I mean, it's got to be high quality because otherwise the bees won't draw on it. So let's go over to the waxer here and let's show how that's done. Whoops, I didn't turn on the light. Start the wax process. So I've melted the wax and they say that they want to keep the wax somewhere between 145 and 175. Anything hotter than 175 can melt your, they said warp. I just measured, or just checked the temperature this a second ago. You don't need to see me check the temperature. And it was running about 165. So I'm trying to get I used this brush yesterday in my original test, and I'm trying to get it to soak and melt off so I get a good work surface, and I think I'm there. So now I'm going to wax these. I Simple process. Again, I'm just trying to get the wax hot, but you want to be careful to not get wax on these edges, because if you get wax on the edges, it doesn't impact how the bees do it. What it does impact is the looks of it. So that's where I think you want to be careful. I got some wax on a couple yesterday, and the problem with that ended up being that it didn't come off all the way. So I'm a little, I would say come off, it kind of smudged. So it will impact the look of your product. That's why I'm saying be careful with that. So putting on the wax is simply a matter of putting your brush in and waxing the surface. Get a good coat on. We'll keep going back and forth over this a little bit. This brush is giving me some issues because it's impregnated from yesterday. Just a good solid coat. And it will give the bees all they desire to make you a nice comb. Okay, one last shot here in the middle to fill that in. And I think we're in pretty good shape. It's just a good solid coat. I did get a little bit over here, and you can kind of see that now I can take that off when it's warm. It seems to be doing pretty well. So that's what you got. So let's tie this thing up here. So now that's complete. The next steps seem to be just to put them in. Now they talked about the fact that you want to make sure that when you're looking on the inside of your frames, that every single one is touching together. So you're not going to get the side bars here to touch together, but what they want is just inside of these to touch together. What it does is it prevents the bees from building comb where you don't want comb. So just push together. I'm doing this in a 5-frame Nook box. They come in sets to do a 10-frame. If you don't want to do a whole 10-frame, they also sell leader boards, spacer boards, anyway, that would go on the side. If this were a 10-frame, there's a board that you would put on the side. Or you can chimney them and put 5 in the middle, 3 on one side, 2 on the other, and get the bees to come straight up on them. Or maybe you only want to do 1 or 2 frames. Again, so that's the possibilities. I'm doing 5-frame because I have, and I've talked about this in other videos, I have lots of Nooks. Right now I've got 9 Nooks that came from either necessary splits or swarms. As much as you try not to swarm, they're going to do it anyway. But I have 9 Nook boxes that I use as support staff. And one of the things that happens is they build like crazy. In my Better Nook Box video, I'm not sure if that's what I called it, but anyway, it's right here. I talk about a system that I have, and there are these boxes. So this is the size of a super, and it goes on top of a box. I've got bees building like crazy right now inside of Nook boxes. They fill up really fast. So when I've got all those bees, I'm gonna put them to work. And the way I put them to work is I put my comb honey on top of Nook boxes, so I'm not taking honey production away from the main hives that are cranking out, you know, lots and lots of honey for me. So these will be my comb honey boxes. So I'm gonna put these out in the hive. We're gonna see how it works in part 2. Obviously, I'll be posting part 1 way before part 2. I will be surprised to see how long it does or does not take them to hop on this. So I will keep a time frame of it, and we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty excited about this system. Again, I'm not sponsored by them, but I like what I see, and I'm hoping that it works out great. In the next video, we're gonna show them on the hive, how you check them, how you take them off the hive. Well, you just take it off the hive. And then we'll bring it back home, clean them up, put them together so you can take a look at how the whole process seems to look and work. And then my final opinion on, is this worth it or is it not? So that's what I got for now. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. As always, it's really nice to be liked. So if you would hit that like button, I'd appreciate that as well. And as always, happy beekeeping. feel light on my feet. Oh.